Hi everybody, I'm KAYEMBA Henry and I'm a student of立命館 University. Welcome to the Positive Energy Clinic, especially to like depressed people. My theme is depression a deadly disease in our world today? I'm gonna define the depression. What is depression? Who is depressed? Why is he or she depressed? When and how are they depressed? I'm gonna talk about it in the introduction. I'll talk about the medical side. I'll talk about the importance of this research and expected achievements. Not only that, I'll go ahead and talk about the research findings. But not only that still, I'll go ahead and talk about the discussion plus recommended leisure activities for depressed people. So, depression, what, who, why, when, and how. Depression is a severe mental illness that is associated with a feeling of sadness and loss of interest. Depression can lead to self-esteem, can lead to low self-esteem, negativity, loss of energy, loss of appetite, feeling of worthlessness or guilt, thoughts of death, and sometimes suicide. Suicide is a big problem in our world today, and it affects all walks of life. Depressed people tend to get stuck in the darkest tunnel where their mental strength has no way out. Some of the causes of depression include genetic factors, environmental factors, psychological factors, and social factors. Most recently, many people around the world have been negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, and this has led to many people into depression. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, 4.4% of the world's population suffers from depression. Also, statistics have shown that globally, 800,000 people die yearly due to depression. Since depression is a serious problem, much attention needs to be given to it, to understanding it and providing possible solutions. So in the middle of making a research, I just found out that I just found out about the strongest antidepressant taken by depressed people. And as you can see in the image on the left, it's called hydroxyketamine antidepressant. It's one of the strongest depressant on the market today. And the image down below it is the mechanism of antidepressant in the body. So in addition to that, the medical side still, according to the World Health Organization, depression is a common mental disorder affecting more than 264 million people globally. It comes with unending sadness, lack of pleasure in engaging in various activities. Besides, it disturbs sleep, and cases of patients who cannot fall asleep without taking pills are common. As a result, the medical field is also tirelessly researching new, strong, and effective antidepressants. What about the importance of this research? Mental health issues affect all walks of life, as I said before. To have a productive and a sustainable society, it is important to properly understand that mental health issues and their impacts, especially depression. This will go a long way in helping people deal with it and improve the recovery rate. My motivation for this research comes from my personal experience and exposure to people troubled with depression. The motive of this research is to bring awareness to depression, awareness about depression and other related issues. Globally, people suffering from depression may deal with it by themselves, but end up hitting brick wall. Like a famous scientist said that, called Albert Einstein said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. However, by listening to other people's stories, someone can grasp some useful information that he or she can use to fight against depression or other troubles. As you can see in the images, just to make sure I added like Albert Einstein's like a quote, and on the right looks like a counselor giving support to a depressed person. In this, the reason for adding this was to show people that sometimes we need others to provide comfort or provide support, however strong we are. Expected achievements. A problem pointed out is a problem halfway solved, with a full understanding that potentially no human deliberately chooses to suffer from depression. This research is focused on encouraging whoever feeling broken and about to give up on their life, family. While some people find themselves in the middle of depressive moods, some may not even get a chance to discover that they are depressed, and others may be aware but do not have a clue to a cure. As you can see on the left of the image, someone is really confused. That is how depression works. And to my knowledge, I believe in 10 people, there must be a person passing through some hardships related to depression. Research findings. Since this research is focused on finding what, why, who, how, and when about depressed people, the following are research discoveries and thoughts. Statistics show that people can be depressed after losing something crucial like a job, losing someone he loved, and even money or possessions or other possessions. But not only that, data still shows that some people genetically inherit depression from parents. Through this research, I discovered that that depression can occur in youth and old-aged people, but it affects young people more than the older people. I thought that since older people can easily relate to their past and come up with possible quick solutions, and like for to solve their problems, besides medical drugs, psychological treatment for both moderate and severe depression is provided to patients. But unfortunately, effective services are accessible in only developed countries. And the data shows that approximately 80% of depressed people in developing countries are suffering without receiving drugs, without receiving psychological attention. As for the discussion, based on the research findings, depression is affecting many people globally, and that is why it shouldn't be dealt with lightly. Otherwise, this disease is as lethal as any other disease. Reports show that depression is one of the key causes of suicide. Suicide cases that occur in both teens and aged people, regardless of gender. In most cases, patients diagnosed with AIDS, cancer, and other diseases of similar caliber suffer from depression, and some reports show that these patients die from depression, not AIDS or cancer. Some people might be overwhelmed by the intensity of the situation. Others get depressed due to age, behaviors, environment, to mention but a few. On the other hand, depression is proved to be genetically inherited. However, the most important thing is to know that no one wants to suffer from depression or even watching a beloved one going through such hard times. As a result of that, in order to forget that, some people are lured into abusing drugs, self-neglect, and so many other things that come with depression. Some must-dos by depressed people are: 1. Visiting a medical personnel. Talk about it with a close person. It could be a friend, it could be a parent, or if any family member. Visit a counselor. You know what? If a flare is spotted earlier before they become severe, it can be dealt with effectively and easily than when it's late. Hopefully, some people who keep their problems with themselves are able to grasp some information from this research that can energize their life. So the recommended leisure activities for depressed people are: someone once said that depression affects only those who don't have a place of escape. In my interpretation, leisure activities is part of escape. So I added in a couple of leisure activities I would recommend, to be done by anyone feeling down or depressed. First of all, I'll talk about the first leisure activities. The first leisure activity is pets. Taking care of animals is one of my pastime activities. Reason being, in my opinion, pets are 99.998% that pets won't betray a monster, but 0% that a person won't. That's why I keep pets. And in my personal experience, pets are stress healers. The second, other than pets, the second leisure activity that can be done by depressed people is adventure. Adventure is scientifically a proven stress healer. I have met with so many people that have love for moving into new places, like sightseeing and even other other things that are related to adventure. Not only that, the most important thing is working out. Depressed people take antidepressants to calm down during sad moments. However, research shows that working out is more effective than relying on medical drugs. Thank you very much. And still, before I finish, on the part of working out, even like in parts like low developed countries where drugs can't be easily accessed, can use their body to work out to in order to to fight against or to battle against depression. Thank you very much for listening.